can go, I tell you, man.
Yeah.
The Premier League, the Champions League, the World Cup. There is so much money in football these days. But why is grassroots football fading to extinction? In this video, we are going to investigate some reasons why. First up, is it the club's fault? Do clubs not do enough these days? Well, as you know, I run High Park FC and I feel like we do enough. I think the clubs that do get the players there every week, fulfil their fixtures every season, pay their bills and get it done, and they're all volunteers. So I don't think it falls on the clubs. So does it fall on the referees? Now, the referees are a major target for grassroots football in disagreements. We all have them at local level that we don't want refereeing us because we know what they're like. But it's got to be set an example from the top. You see on telly every week, players, professionals swearing and abusing match officials. And then there's a massive campaign down in grassroots football, especially at men's level, about abusing referees and body cams and all of these sort of things. Well, we've got to set an example from the top, surely. Surely the FA have got to set an example from the telly down to grassroots level for a start. We need referees to keep the game going. And referees do sign up to do a paid job. So we can't really grumble and we can't blame it on referees. Is it the FA's fault? So first of all, we got the Isle of Wight FA who govern our football on the Isle of Wight and govern our club. We pay for a membership at the beginning of the season, and these chaps are all volunteers. We all respect what they do. They're there to carry out a job, to follow the constitution and the rule book and follow every rule and be impartial across the board for every team on the Isle of Wight. Now, we know as a club that this doesn't happen. We know that they try and do what they want sometimes, and that's not right, and we have called them out on it this season. So there will be a video released on all of this stuff once the season has concluded. I've said this before in a video, so we're not going to go into that today. But I think there could be mass improvement from the FA in helping re-establish a bit more of Ireland football, rather than basically they're sat in a boat at the moment all with a bucket and it's filling up quicker than they can empty it. And that's just what's happening. It's not their fault. It's just a catastrophic conclusion of everything, really. But yeah, taking on new ideas would be one thing that they need to open their eyes up, I think. And getting with the times a bit more, because I think some of them are stuck in a stone age. But it's just my opinion as a club secretary. Is it the county FA's fault? So we are governed by Hampshire FA down on the Isle of Wight. Everybody will be with different FAs in their regions of the country. I just think that these are just run like a business, basically. All of our money goes to them. I don't see a great deal of reinvestment into Isle of Wight football from the Hampshire FA to the Isle of Wight FA, but we don't know what goes on. So I think that they're like the boss of the area to all of the local FAs, and yeah, basically they pull the strings, they take the money, but I just don't see anything coming back, really. Don't see any help in improving grassroots football on the Isle of Wight over the past 2 years from the Isle of Wight FA or the Hampshire FA. Well, nothing certainly that we've received. Yes, I just genuinely think they're a business. They don't give a shit that it's fading as quick as it is. But what can you do about that? Are the players at fault for the football demise? Well, partly, yeah. But we're bringing them up at the youth level now to taking part's just fine. Doesn't matter about the result. Where I was brought up in an era where you're playing a game, you go to win. And that's how I'm bringing my kids up. They both play. One plays under 12s, one plays under 15s, and yeah. And then you move on to the men's side of it, and basically men just can't get out no more. There's no time. Our lives are so caught up with everything else, work, and everybody's on social media, and yeah. But there's just no time. And if you go football on a Saturday, then go football on a Sunday, you might not have a wife on a Monday. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, you squeeze a pint in now and again, or whatever you do. But it's so easy just to sit at home all weekend with your family, do some family things, and you can watch 2, 3, 4 games of football at a weekend. You know, like, so yeah, that's why people ain't going out to play football no more, because there's so much more to do in the world, so much more to keep everybody entertained. Back in the day when there was leagues and leagues and leagues, and the only thing to do was play sport was thriving. So this is a massive contribution to why football is going down the pan at a grassroots level, in my opinion. Last of all, is money the problem? Is the money it costs to play grassroots football the problem? Well, I don't think so from a club's point of view. I think the players pay their way to help the clubs run. It's like we're paying to play football every week. That's what we do at grassroots level. Everybody pays a registration fee, pay subs weekly, so we pay for the refs out of that, and everything recycles. What ain't right is that when a player gets a big fine and the FA fine you, the clubs have to pick up the bill no matter what. The player can just walk away from the club. You might not ever see him again. He's racked up a £350 bill from a fine, and then that's on the club. So then me as a secretary, I have to fine £350 extra because that player's done something stupid in a game, and that shouldn't be the way it's run. It should be on the player's head. The player should be suspended indefinitely so he shouldn't be able to play football again until he's cleared his bill. And with technology these days, that should be implemented across the board, because players' fines kills clubs financially without a shadow of a doubt. We've seen it before on the Isle of Wight. Many clubs go in because players rack up so many fines and run away that it falls on clubs, and that's just not on, in our opinion. Do we think the fines are harsh? Yeah, I think the fines are extremely harsh. I'm going to put an example up of our fines for the season, and then you can judge yourself. Obviously, we feel like we've been mistreated a bit this season, but just because we advertise our football every week, we put it on film. The FA, like I said, are a bit stuck in a dark age. They don't like change, and because we've changed the face of football in the Isle of Wight by airing our games on YouTube every week, that we get punished more for that, and that's fine. If that's the way it's got to be, then that's the way it's got to be. We'll take it on the chin. So here is our discipline for the season: 30 cautions, 372 quid, 5 reds, 225 quid, and misconduct charges 750 quid. A grand total of £1,347 the club has to find to pay their fines this season. So that's all of my thoughts on why I think football at grassroots level is going down the shit pan. Who knows, maybe I'm wrong about everything. What would I do to improve grassroots football in the Isle of Wight? Well, Division 2 and Combination 2, I'd do one promotion and do a playoff, so you get more teams with more exciting things going on in the season, because down there it's pretty bland for some teams. And to keep them interested and keep the boys playing, at least give them the opportunity to get in a playoff spot. So after the league, you've got a chance of fighting for something instead of just 2 teams or 3 teams, you know. But what do I know? Anyway, I hope everybody's had a good week. And remember, up the fucking park.